Parashat Beshalach. This parasha is dedicated to the refuah shlema of Shachaf bat Lilach, Efrat bat Feigel Sarah, Chaim Israel ben bat Yahalevi. And also, I would like to say thank you to Mr. Shamir for taking care of all the videos for the Yeshiva. So, thank you, Mr. Shamir. Okay, you can go sit down now. So, the Parashat Beshalach, the first time that it says that Am Israel believes in HaKadosh Baruch Hu appears in this week's parasha after or immediately after the splitting of the Red Sea. And it says over there, Vayaminu be'Adonai u'be'Moshe avdo sabri marana. Yes, Vayaminu be'Hashem. It says, right? Right now, until this point, it just says the need or the expectation that Am Yisrael is going to believe, in HaKadosh Baruch Hu, in Moshe Rabbeinu, and the different tests that they were saying to bring them about to this point. And here, if we could say, we start to see the first fruits of an established belief, established emunah. So the question is, okay, terrific. And now what? On that, says Rav Kook in Orot HaEmunah, thank you very much for getting the book, Perek Gimel, it says the following: Ha'adam tzarich le'amen et nafsho le'emunah. A person needs to prepare himself to the concept of emunah, which I told you many times. I was so happy to see that I was actually able mechaven years ago for that concept. It says keshem sheme'amnim et haguf letnuah mechona. As much as you need to really train your body for appropriate movement, to move appropriately, or you need to also emunah. The root of emunah is amen. Aleph mem nun. Amen is to work out, to practice. A person needs to, as much as you work out your physical muscle, you need to work out your spiritual muscle, which is that muscle that so-called in charge of your emunah, your belief, and you need to maintain it all the time. And you need to maintain it just like anything else in life. The fact that you went to a gym for a year when you were young doesn't mean that from now on, it's a smooth sailing. No, you need to constantly maintain it, right? And you need to maintain it to make sure that it would hold also and especially in difficult times. And this parasha, what I'm trying to tell you here, is going to talk all about crisis and how we actually deal with that. So after they reached to the level that the pasuk or the verse calls them that they were able to be ma'amin be'Hashem, to believe in God, there are certain crises that happen. So the first one is their arrival to the place called Mara. Mara means bitter, something bitter. And after 3 days of walking in the desert without water, not only did they needed, they were thirsty, they finally find water, but the water is bitter. And the people turn up to Moshe in a very practical manner, and they say, "Oh, okay, buddy, what are we gonna have? Are we gonna have anything to drink here, or what?" Talking about drinking. So Moshe prays to God, and he tells him, take a certain wood and throw it into the water, and that's going to make it sweet. And here the emunah, the belief was in Moshe Rabbeinu that he would know how to solve the problem. And Moshe shows them that really the solution for the problem is in the hands of God, not in him. The second crisis that they're experiencing is the complaint of Am Yisrael, the complaint of the Jews in lack of food. Here too, the people blame Moshe Rabbeinu, and it says, "Why ki hotzetem otanu el hamidbar hazeh le'amit?" You took us out to the desert so we should die in hunger. Of course, this is also, you could identify a certain struggle, and that's blaming him in the situation. Blaming someone or blaming something in a situation is a sign for crisis. A crisis in belief that you caused this to me, right? And HaKadosh Baruch Hu tells Am Yisrael at that point, he says, "Come closer to me." Why? Ki shama et telunotechem. HaKadosh Baruch Hu heard your complaints, right? Since he heard your complaints, and then of course there is a solution. And what will be the solution? The man and the slav, the quail that comes from, that they found in the desert. The third crisis, also because of lack of water, right? However, right now, there is already a quarrel, there is a fight between, an exchange of words between Moshe and the people. It says, Vayarev ha'am. Vayarev, in other words, they were fighting, they were quarreling with him. Why did you bring us from Egypt again, right? To kill us and so we shall die in thirst? And they're complaining, and he's answering. They're going back and forward. Here too, there's a quick solution. Hakadosh Baruch Hu command Moshe to hit the stone, to hit the rock, and the water comes out from the rock. I mean, that's terrific. That's wonderful. Of course, the question that needs to be asked is, why does God do this to them? What's the problem what's the need for that? I mean, in any of these cases, Hakadosh Baruch Hu finds a solution for them, and He doesn't punish them. There were other cases they complained they got punished, but in this case, He doesn't punish them. So why do you do this to them? Well, I mean, what's the trick about this? So, I mean, it seems like in any case we needed to strengthen and enhance the belief in God and not to deteriorate it, right? I mean, by doing all these things, you kind of putting some kind of like structural fractures or stressors into the emunah. So why do you do this? Of course, what we do and what we usually do is, of course, we bring the common answer is it's not us, it's the Erev Rav. The Erev Rav is all these like people who like tagged along and so on. So it's not us, it's the Erev Rav, right? And that individual, that group of people was not really able to identify this opportunity of crisis, of difficulties, and really strengthen the emunah, and really chooses to abandon that muscle and not to take the opportunity to train that muscle of emunah. So now, again, this is something that applies to all of us in life. It would show, I'm not going to say now genealogically, it shows who you are or who your ancestors. That's nonsense. But it shows at what trend are you leading your life to. When hardship comes, when difficulty comes, are you going to lay down like this and roll over? Are you going to complain and bark? Or you're actually going to roll your sleeve up and say, listen, this is an opportunity to come out stronger. And we need to remember this. These are opportunities to come out stronger from that. And that's why, by using this muscle, the muscle gets stronger all the time. Those micro tearing in the muscles make your muscle stronger, and you using it, and you apply this to your emunah. You actually put your emunah to work, right? Whoever would have the knowledge or the idea, the right idea, to continue with the workout, to continue with this, workout, the imun, the workout of that muscle, would come out stronger, and to take all these difficult times in your life, and instead of complaining, to actually use them as a leverage to come out stronger, right? I mean, let's say, for example, we don't have to work hard in our lives. I mean, most of us, yeah? We drive cars, we take subways, whatever the governor allows us to do, we don't have to chop wood, carry water, what's the sound of one hand clap? We don't have to do all these things, right? But so we go to the gym. So you sign up for the gym, you buy your clothes, your shiny stuff, your tights, whatever you wear. You go to the gym, you lift weights, the next day you have cramps. Okay, that's it, I'm done with this. It's not for me. I mean, I'm going there and I'm getting cramps. You don't understand. That's the whole point. So when difficulty comes to your life, don't give up. Take this as an opportunity to come out stronger on the other end. Come out stronger from your difficulties. When you have your point of not sure what to do, make a decision, go with it. It's hard, that's good. Keep on with the grind, don't give up. The point in life is that we we are not successful. People ask you, "Oh, listen, I'm not successful. Things don't. My life is like it's not going anywhere." It's because one thing and one thing only. They either look to the past, whatever happened, how good it was in the good old days, and so on and so forth, or they just get stuck in a situation. Just keep on moving. Just keep on moving. Keep on going through the motions. You're gonna come to the end. You're gonna get there, and you're going to accomplish it. Nothing lasts forever. It all ends. How you're going to end, that's up to you. But just, again, what I'm saying to you all the time, just stop complaining. Because complaining satisfies this need not to deal with the difficulty, and because of that, by complaining, you're actually becoming weaker. It's hard. Nobody tells you life is easy. And whoever tells you life is easy, or whoever wants to have an easy life, is a fool. Life is not easy. Life was not meant to be easy. Life was meant to be hard for you to become harder, to become tougher, to become more resilient. And we need to really get in grips with that. We're all looking for the dulce vita, for the good life. That's the wrong way to go about life. That's the wrong way to go about life. Everybody wants to go into a hot tub, with jet streams, like massaging your body. But you really want to get healthy? Go into an ice tub, do a plunging or whatever it is. It'll toughen you up. Go outside to in the cold weather when it's raining. Nobody likes the rain. I think the rain is great. If you never worked out in the rain, like to the point of like that you're sweating and you feel the heat coming on your body, if you never worked out, that heat came out from steam came out from your head. I've seen it. I did it many times when I used to do martial arts in the park in the winter with snow, with the Chinese people. Steam was coming out of my head. You don't know what pleasure is. You don't know what a workout is. To go into the gym, it's like all nice with AC. That's not a workout. Go run out in the rain, hard, in the mud, difficult. That's fun. You feel like you accomplished something. So, and this is what we need to do. We need to identify the difficulties. Say, okay, that's a difficulty. Is now we're going to leverage it to become stronger and to really come to the next crisis they're going to come into life much more fit and much more mature and much better conditioned. And basically to grow up from these difficulties, to grow from them. We always carry ourselves, our eyes to freedom and so on and so forth. We want to be free, right? Who doesn't want to be free? But do we really want to be free? And yet, together with that, on the same token, freedom is very frightening. Freedom is frightening. And that fear really immobilizes us, makes us freeze from really trying to actually achieve the freedom. And therefore we're always stuck in this trap. We always trap. And that's where we find ourselves going one step forward, two steps backwards. One step forward, two steps backwards. Don't be afraid of freedom. Don't be afraid of what it takes to become free. Don't be afraid. Let me tell you, the fear of freedom is so great, it's greater than actually being enslaved. Don't be afraid. Take this thing you need to identify what it is. And you need to grow from it. And that fear that paralyzes you to reach the freedom, that's what makes us go backwards all the time. And exactly like Bnei Israel, right? 7 days, and by the way, which to show you that no miracles makes you have emunah. 7 days after they left Mitzrayim, and they came Mitzrayim v'yitzu Israel beyad ramah, right? With a strong hand. And, man, you look like a soldier with this outfit, right? And they're going out like this. They reach the Yam Suf, right? They have the mountains and Paro in the back and the water in front of them. And what did they cry to Moshe? Hamiblik en kvarim b'Mitzrayim. There are no graves in Egypt to bury us. But you had to take. Why yesh lachem? What's wrong with you? It says, Tov lanu avodat Mitzrayim. We're better off being slaves to the Egyptians than to die as a free man in the desert. what kind of a backbone you guys have. I don't think that for nothing we are in Galut, in exile, suffering for 2,000 years. I don't think for nothing. I think that's, if you wanna, I mean, in my small capacity, if you ask me why we are in exile for 2,000 years, is because we had this mentality back then. We need to really get rid of this mentality. And it's kind of like a sifting, because along the line, those who give up are not going to make another day. I mean, they're not going to stay in the future. It's, call it the evolution. I mean, okay, yeah, evolution. I don't care. Call it the evolution, the survival of the fittest. You know, that's exactly what it is. And this is this. I hate to use the selection, but this process happens all the time through history. So don't give up. Oh my goodness. Don't run away from one place to another. There is a problem, identify it, deal with it, tackle it, deal with it. Don't run away from it. Look at it in the eye and take it to the ground. Don't be afraid from difficulties. And this is like in a way, this is the dialogue that we had, the internal dialogue that we have, each and every one of us inside of us, right? Should we continue being slave? Should we continue being slaves, or we should take responsibility over our time and over our life? And in a way, many people deliberately sabotage their effort to become free so they can stay being slaves, because they don't want to take responsibility for their lives. They would rather blame everybody for the hard work they're giving them rather than to be free. And they will do whatever they can in their effort to sabotage. You can give them all the tools in the world, but ultimately it's their choice to become free, and it's their choice to stay slaves. Or should I say, your choice. So when Moshe refers to God, he says to him, Mati tzakela, why are you yelling at me? What do you want? Daber al bnei Israel, so talk to them and get going. Get going, get moving, don't get stuck. In other words, I cannot force you to be free and happy, and the keys of redemption, the keys of Geula, Rabotai, the keys to our freedom is in your hands. It's not how many freebies you're going to get from the government. It's not anything. The keys to your happiness is in your hands. In your hands, and deal with it. And maybe people don't, be afraid to tell you this, but I'm telling you that. Deal with it. It's in your hands. It's absolutely in your hands. The Zohar adds that the reason to Moshe, the answer to Moshe really told us, basically the idea behind this was just stop talking and start moving, right? Because we always talk. So start going. Right, because it's not time for to praying anymore. Just stop praying. Just get going. And this is one of those situations that really form and shape you, that you need by making an immediate decision. You need to make an executive decision right now to do it. And there will be decisions like this in everybody's life. That sometimes you need to be the leader of your own self to make an executive decision that needs to be made right now. What are you going to do with your life? Just stop complaining. Stop being in a bad mood. Stop being sad. Pull yourself up and then just go about it. Are you going to surrender yourself to failure and to lack of doing, or are you going to walk all the way to accomplish or towards your vision? But hey guys, you gotta have a vision in life until the end, and you're not going to stop. Either you're going to reach your vision, or you're going to somehow perish along the line, but you're going to continue going all your life. You need to make that decision. And if you think that if you're going to get a job that will pay you a lot of money, and that's how you're going to solve your problems, you're wrong. Your problems are just going to multiply because of that. That's easy ways from life. When you choose the second option, of course, of like, I'm going to go all the way with this, in a way you are connected yourself to the source of creation itself. That the purpose of creation is to make good, or to be good to its creation. The Creator wants to do good with its creation. And then when you connect yourself, it's the land of opportunity. You can do whatever you want. If you think again, what made America great was the ability of people to have a vision for themselves regardless of where they came from and to create a better future for themselves. Even if it means going through the Rockies, going through the Sierras, going through whatever, all the way to California. That was the what made America great. When you took the ability to create a dream and a vision that you make it tangible, that at that point America stopped being great. When you start to get too many hands up, I mean, guys, we gotta go to Big Boy's rule. Big Boy's rules is work hard, go far. Work hard, go far. No such thing as easy money. No such thing as easy way out. No such thing. You know, somebody offers you the easy way out, stay away from it, run away from it. It's like a person that instead of working hard will take steroids to become buff. You know what will happen to you? So, and this is, when you reach this place, when you're connected to creation, when you reach this place, that's when you start to see big miracles. Then this is exactly the point when you see the sea splitting out and open. When you take in the resurrection of the dead, is only when we connected ourselves to creation. When we connected the place to, we could have a better future. We allow ourselves to dream about the better future, and we allow ourselves to actually go after it. When you want somebody else to come and do the work for you, that's not going to happen. And unless we're going to realize that we need to create the vision of a better world, of a better life for us, and a better life for everybody, and we will be willing to walk the distance, only then salvation will come. If you're going to sit around and just sit like this and you think you're going to keep on doing whatever you're doing, going to Aruba or hiding under the sofa pretending you're a carpet, and then the Messiah is going to come and going to give redemption to you, you're wrong. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. You need to do it. You need to build the Beit HaMikdash. You need to build the temple. That's the whole thing about having rain. You know, the first principle to emunah, to have a belief and to have salvation and rescue is, Rabotai, a personal commitment. You need to be able to commit, and most people don't know how to commit and don't want to commit. And the success, whether you are going to be, it's in your job, or it's in your marriage, or in your life, is your own personal commitment. Are you committing to that? Yes or no? No, you're not going to make it. You're not going to make it. Even if you have a great vision, if you're not committed to walk the walk, not just to talk the talk, it's not going to happen. And this personal commitment comes, first of all, from taking full responsibility to your actions. And by doing so, really understand that sometimes we need and we have to give up on things that, might seem a little harsh for us to give, but you need to give it up. And why you need to give it up? Because that's what you need to do to carry over, to reach the goal. I mean, imagine Am Yisrael will come to Mitzrayim, they will have to schlep their Italian sofas from Egypt, and they have to schlep their, whatever they have over there. You can't do this. You need to let go. The beauty of being a nomad is that you take exactly what you need, no more, no less. Yeah, maybe you guys should go on having van life for 2 years, and then you get a different perspective about life. Just throw everything behind. But Rabbatai, by the way, there's nothing wrong with actually doing what you love to do as your profession in life, regardless of what psychologists will tell you. Right? So in the story of the man, right? HaKadosh Baruch Hu checks Am Yisrael. Are they going to walk in my ways? Are they going to follow my rule? Are they going to follow my request? Yes or no? And if not, right? That was strange. And if not, it's not so good. However, how he's going to do it, he's going to give a little rules here to do so. And what are the rules? How are we going to collect the man? How are we going to actually collect the man? Whoever is going to stick to the laws is going to feel a part of that. He's building a relationship with God that is based on emun. Emun is trust. Also emunah, right? I trust in Hashem. I believe that Hashem will do so. I trust Him, right? And mutual commitment. Mutual commitment. HaKadosh Baruch Hu would supply the man, and I will do the actions behind it. I'll do what God wants me to do, and He'll do it. And I am absolutely trusting in God that He will do it, right? And by doing so, I come closer to Hashem. I come closer to God, right? As HaKadosh Baruch Hu Himself tells us in this parasha. However, in Midrash Tanchuma, it talks about Datan ve'Aviram. There's two Hekel and Jekyll. The two guys. They really they took pieces of their man and they spread it out all over, into the people to show them, because Moshe told them on Shabbat there's not going to be man. So those wise guys, they took their own man and they spread it out all over the camp to say, you see, it's not exactly what Moshe said, right? So what will happen? The idea for that is to really shake the foundation of the belief of the people in God by saying, 1 second, He said there's no man. When I see some pieces of man here, well, HaKadosh Baruch Hu has many ways to get His way done, so He sent birds, and the birds came and ate the man before Am Yisrael was able to come and actually collect the man. So their idea, their effort to try to distort reality failed. On the third crisis, there's no more efforts to convince people, to convince anymore, because already they already had their emunah, they went through it. But there is a physical effort to really demonstrate and to protest against Moshe and to go against Hashem in that matter as well. And maybe by forcefully removing the power of emunah that the people had in them, by actually taking it out. And we see it all the time in politics, all the time. However, if, for example, we have let's say, for example, we have a goal or we have a target or a thing to give our children a little bit more, right? Or to give your husband, or to give your wife, or to give anything like this. Talking about giving up things, do we really take a thought, or really willing to look into that maybe our career that we are going to choose is going to be matching the goals that which we set? If you tell me that your children are important to you, if you tell me that your family is important to you, you picking up a career that's going to help you reach those goals. Are you? Are you going to pick up a career that is not going to be on somebody else's back, by asking them to sacrifice? That and then you say, well, that's why I went to work. You went to work, but if you would ask them, they don't want you. They don't want you to have millions. They want your time. They want you. Are you going to do that? Do you? And that's why it's important to set goals. Many people who are career-oriented people and so on and so forth might say, oh my goodness, this person hasn't fulfilled himself. He hasn't fulfilled himself. He's not so successful, right? That's what they're going to tell you all the time. But we're talking here about totally different people. We're talking to people with clear goals, with clear targets, with real values and virtues that guide him. He is guided by his virtues, his values, his goals, not what he thinks that you are expecting over me. Who are you to expect anything from me? I got to live with myself. I don't need your approval to the way I live my life. I need me to approve my life. If you're going to tell me society, who cares about society? You think society cares about you? If you want to know what today's demons are, these are your demons. The things don't exist, and you're so petrified of them. What society will do? I have to go to the wedding and bring a gift because they brought it for me. Who said that? I have to go to the wedding because they went to my wedding. Who said that? I don't want to go to the wedding. It's mixed sitting. I don't want to go. Deal with it. Or what they would say. Who cares what they would say? Who cares? Now, and Parashat Aman really deals with that food that we call man, right? This is the heavenly food that came from the heavens and really nourished our forefathers for a period of 40 years in the desert. And those going back to the man, those people who ate the man came every morning to collect the man. But during this whole entire time, those 40 years, as it seems to, it didn't make a difference how much a person gathered or how much the person stored, at the end of the day, he came home and he was able to use exactly what was requested to him to use, or was expected of him to use, or what he was assigned to use. Excuse me, think about that in your parnasa. Think about this in your parnasa. The message to Am Yisrael in that matter is clear. One day, Rabotai, you're going to come to the promised land. Each and every one of us also, at his own promised land. You're going to come to the promised land. And in the promised land, by the way, anybody knows where the promised land is? Yeah, it wasn't a pizza place in Plainview. Years ago, there was a place in Plainview. They used to make good pizza. Unfortunately, it closed. It used to call it the Promised Land. Oh, a very nice place. I loved it. I'm not talking about that. You know where the Promised Land is? You know, by the way, who promised the land to whom?
Hashem to the Avot.
Who is Hashem? Say it in English.
God.
God, the Almighty, the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, right? Master of the universe. Promised it to whom? To the Jewish people. Just to let you know. Just to let you know. To remind you that. One day you're going to come to the promised land and you're going to be constructive and you need to build things and fabricate things and so on and so forth. And that, whatever that you do, is going to bring money to you. Why don't you have some children, Tzaddik? It's very good children. Idan makes it, by the way, thank you, Idan, for making this awesome children again. He's an expert. You should have some. Not to try some. That's very good. There's meat and everything. Anyway, not vegan like me, but you know, have me in mind when you eat it. And that job that you're going to do is going to bring money to you, right? Money makes the world go round, right, Mr. Wannabe dentist? Money, right? It's all money. But you need to remember one thing. It doesn't make a difference how hard you're going to work. At the end of the day, you're going to come home to what? You're going to come home to your family. You're going to come home to your values, or to your goals, or to whatever it is that you're looking for. And if you're going to work too much, you might discover one day that you lost it all. Your kids are grown, your wife has gotten old, and your values, you don't remember what they were anymore. You better watch out. You better watch out what you're wishing for. And it doesn't make a difference what's the solution that you're going to find, but you could integrate work and family together. You can integrate work, family, hobbies, friends, and Torah, Rabotai. Torah. Unfortunately, Torah is the first thing that goes out of the window. The first thing that goes out of the window. I didn't come to learn Torah. Why? I had to attend Sheva Brachot. Why? You got married, Mazal Tov? No, I didn't. Somebody else got. So what are you doing to Sheva Brachot? I need to vacation. Oh, where's your Torah? No, I'm sorry, Rabbi. You know, I can't put my life on hold. Life? You have no life. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't know how you're talking. You don't have no life. You know why you have no life? Because you don't know how to balance things out. You don't know how to balance things out. But, you know, one thing is without a doubt, to remember and not to forget what was your ultimate goal. What was your ultimate target that you were aiming all your life for? If you're not aiming somewhere, you're not going to get there. And you need to be very, very careful to make sure that the goal is actually makes sense. And if your goal is ultimately to make loads of money, please don't have kids, don't get married, because there's no need to make other people miserable, because you are not going to be there for their lives. You are not going to be present in their life. What do they need? What? They need $1 what George Washington gave birth to them? You're going to be the father. You need to be present in their lives. So stop with this nonsense. You're not going to be Donald Trump. You're not going to be that. But one thing for sure, you could be a father. That's guaranteed. Or you could be a husband. Why are you going to make these people miserable? What's your real goal? I told you this 1,000,000 times. At the end of the day, in your funeral, when somebody says there or there and you are in the casket, they're not going to say, oh, this guy made a lot of money. He was a shrewd businessman. Nobody's going to say that to you. Nobody's going to say it to you. What they're going to tell you? He was a good father. He was a good husband. Is this going to be a lie, or is it going to be the truth? Why would you live your life like this? Now, in the chase for life and the gold rush that you're going to have, it's not always easy to remember that. Sometimes we really want to devour the world and to leave dust behind us. But it's always have to remember where you came from and why did you leave this place and why did you come from. And it seems that sometimes you need to make sure that they have a warm place and a good place to come back to, right? Not to wait for a distance in the future, a place in the future to really execute and to make this happen. This is a tremendous challenge that we all have to face. You need to make sure you have somewhere to come to. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, made us in the image of God to be partners in creation as well. In other words, in any given moment, it doesn't make a difference what are the circumstances. We have the ability, we possess the ability to create a new reality to ourselves, to change bitter, like the water, into sweet, darkness into light. The song that they say on the Red Sea was said after they ripped the ocean was split into half. It says Az Yashir Moshe. Then Moshe Rabbeinu sang. In other words, in the future tense, Az Yashir lo Az Sham. Az Yashir in the future to teach us that the story really holds us all the way until today and throughout generation to guarantee to us that every person is able to experience what Bnei Israel experienced on Yam Suf. That ability or the sensation of freedom, that everything is possible, that there is no problem in which we cannot overcome. This is the essence of a person. This is what all we need to go for all the time, and we could all reach to it if we choose to reach it. The question is, how committed are we to this goal, to this target? How committed we are to it? How much do we really believe in God? How much do we really allow God to be a part of our lives? Is there a limit to our emunah? Is our emunah limited? Or maybe the whole experience of emunah and believing God is the expression inside of us to the Ein Sof. You want to experience Ein Sof? Tap into your emunah without any compromise. Be committed to it. Have a vision and don't be afraid of being free. Don't be afraid to have a dream. Shabbat Shalom. You guys couldn't charge the battery beforehand.